The Prisoner's Dilemma, Blood Doping in Sport. The debate regarding blood doping and performance-enhancing drugs in sport, particularly following Russia's ban from the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, is what inspired my Prisoner's Dilemma game. There have been many scenarios over the years, but one case which particularly stood out to me was when Olympic sprinters Asafa Powell and Tyson Gay failed their drugs test in 2013. I will use the decision to either blood dope or stay clean to illustrate a Prisoner's Dilemma game. Asafa Powell and Tyson Gay are training for an important race, and both players can either choose to blood dope and thus increase their chance of winning the race, or stay clean and risk losing but avoid disqualification. If both players blood dope, both players do well but risk being found out and banned from racing. If one player blood dopes and the other stays clean, the player who blood doped wins easily without suspicion, and the clean player loses. If both players stay clean, both players do well without the risk of future punishment and disqualification. Asafa Powell and Tyson Gay's preferences over doping and staying clean are represented by this normal form game. This is a static game where two players, Powell and Gay, each have two actions available to choose from: dope and stay clean. The columns reflect Gay's actions and rows reflect Powell's. Both players choose their actions simultaneously, and each of their payoffs is determined by the combination of actions chosen by the players. For example, if Powell chooses to blood dope and Gay chooses to stay clean, Powell receives a payoff of 10 and Gay receives a payoff of 0. We also assume that both players have perfect information and are rational. That is, they both know the actions available to the other player and both seek to maximise their own payoff. In order to solve this game, I will use a Nash equilibrium in pure strategies. We can see that both players are better off blood doping regardless of what the other player does. For Powell, suppose he knows that Gay is going to dope. He is better off blood doping, as his payoff of 5 is better than 0. Suppose he knows that Gay is going to stay clean. He is also better off blood doping, as a payoff of 10 is better than 7. Powell's best response to whatever Gay plays is to always blood dope. That is, stay clean is strictly dominated by blood dope for Powell. As we assume that both players are rational and want to maximise their payoff, they will never play the strictly dominated action. Using the symmetry of the matrix, we can see that Gay's strictly dominated action is also stay clean, and as his best response to whatever action Powell plays is to always blood dope. Therefore, we arrive at the equilibrium, blood dope, where both players receive a payoff of 5. However, we can see that both players would be better off by choosing to stay clean, as 7 is a better payoff for both players than 5 is. Here, they gain extra utility by avoiding getting caught and banned from competing for life. But because both of the players' decisions are made simultaneously, neither can trust that the other player will also stay clean, and thus they are forced to blood dope in order to increase their chance of winning the race. What we learn from A Prisoner's Dilemma is that rational players acting in their own self-interest choose a strategy that does not result in the Pareto efficient or optimal outcome for both players.